And welcome to Postcard from Poprad on a gloriously sunny day. It's wonderful, beautiful and marvellous. And I'm going to do something very different today. I'm going to let Lee say hello to Rachel.
Hello, Rachel. How are you, darling? I've got frostbite of the face.
Oh, my goodness. Hello, Uncle Lee. I'm all right. I've got sunburn off the face.
You got sunburn of the face? You're very quiet, Rachel. I'm going to tell that naughty Eric to turn you up.
I have.
Have you? Right, yeah. No, I tell you, I've just been walking in that glorious snow. You know that stuff you missed when you were in Poprad that wasn't here when you were here? I've just been walking in the snow and I've got frostbite of the face. And you know when you can feel frostbite like edging away as the heat comes back, as the blood spreads around your body? It's gorgeous.
Yes, well, I'm very upset.
I know. Honestly, it treated you badly, didn't it? No snow for Rachel.
I'm very upset because it was 42.6 degrees here in Melbourne today.
Was it?
And that's very, very warm. But you know, this
It's
is
getting
funny.
colder. It's going to get colder.
What?
Excuse me, I'm talking to her.
He said that last time, but exactly on this day,
Yeah.
a year ago, I was sitting where you're sitting.
Oh, of course. And the seat's still warm, Rachel.
It would be because, you know, my butt is plentiful. But yes, it was cold, but I never saw any snow.
You did. You fibber.
I saw it on the ground.
No.
When did it snow?
Up in the mountains.
It's not
There
in the
wasn't
mountains.
any falling from the sky, though, Uncle Eric.
No, it was just you falling over in the snow.
Yeah, and you laughing and then coughing.
Yes, that's true.
It's been a blizzard here, Rachel. We've been walking. It's been so snowy you can't even see as you walk down the street. It's like being
Absolutely true. Yeah.
Scott of the Antarctic.
It was.
It is.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I should send you a video, Ray, shouldn't I?
Yeah, we'll send you a video of the snow. You can keep it. You can play it on your telly and think you're here.
Yeah.
Between you and the lovely Andrea reporting the snow to me, I'm just horrified. And, you know, it's not fair because now I'm home and it was 42.6 degrees today. And that's like your shoes start getting sticky on the sidewalk.
Minus
Wow.
15. Minus
Gosh.
15.
We got to do something special in a minute because Rachel's going to tell us all about a new campaign that she's running. But first of all, let's say hello to some people who are here. Hello to Kadid.
Ooh, he's always here.
Kadid. Hi to Lydia. Balco's here. Hello to Khalid, who's from Jordan. Thanks for sharing, Jordan. That's really good. Khalid, that's really good. We love knowing where people are.
Yeah, always tell us where you're from.
Yeah, absolutely. Steve said Rach is rubbing it in. It's freezing here.
What, the snow?
I would
She's rubbing
swap
it
with
in?
you.
There
I
isn't
would
any.
happily swap. I would happily swap, I swear.
You
I'm
would.
not rubbing it in. I honestly hate it.
Aha. Hello to Dave, who's joined us as well. He's recovered from his 28-hour marathon.
It was very good,
It
David.
actually was very good indeed.
Yeah, I did. I listened to at least some of it.
Yeah. As did many, many others.
Yeah.
Why don't you play Prokofiev's Sleigh Ride, says Arthur. I know spelling's probably wrong. How do you spell sleigh?
S-L-E-I-G-H,
Or it
not
could be-
S-L-A-Y.
Could be S-L-A-Y.
No, it couldn't, because that means killing people.
That's what we do at the end of the show.
Kill people. Who do we kill?
Each other.
Or dragons.
Eh?
Who?
What?
Dragons.
Pardon?
We slay dragons.
Oh, Steve says, I saw Rachel the other day
Where did you see her?
in a rerun of Prisoner.
Oh, no. Did you? I'm so
brilliant.
sorry.
She's
so
been in
sorry
prison, you
for
know.
that.
Yeah, it's been a very bad girl.
Naughty girl.
Sorry, I'm so sorry for that. Oh.
Yes. She does a great impersonation of the word business.
Does she?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I do a great impersonation of the word actress.
Actress, or something like that. Precocious. Yeah, you did spell it right. I'm looking now, Arthur. You did spell it right. You're a good man. Well done, that man.
Yeah.
Well done, that
what's
man.
that? What's that got to do with us, though? Why are we going to play Prokofiev's Sleigh Ride?
Because there's snow here.
Oh, we see. That's a very intelligent comment. I'm sorry I missed it. Yeah.
Sorry, Arthur. I found him on a street corner.
Has Sylvia's mother written in yet?
No, not from Dr. Hook, no. No.
Sad, isn't it?
No.
Saddest thing that's ever happened.
What?
Ray Sawyer's dead.
Yeah, well, that's sad.
Yeah.
But it's
Rachel, is that sad or not? Ray Sawyer.
Yeah, that's
Sylvia's
sad.
mother
I'm
says.
sadder about the captain.
Ah, right. Well, anyway, no, stop. Don't go drifting off into the
I
news yet.
wasn't. I was just talking
yes,
about
we can't
Sylvia's
do that
mother. I
yet.
feel
We
really
can't do
sorry
that
for
yet,
her.
because we're going to hand over the whole thing. The whole RTI network is being handed over on a plate, with my fingers crossed, and I've crossed myself like the crucifix, praying that she'll get it right. It's none other than the charity raising Rachel Brunsden.
Oh, thank you, Uncle Eric. And thank you, kind audience. This is actually I'm really excited about this fundraiser that I'm doing. I've been planning to do it for a while, and I finally got myself organised and been able to do it. The Leukemia Foundation runs a fundraiser every year called The World's Greatest Shave. And what you do is you get sponsored by people, and then you raise a certain amount of money, however much you would like. And then on a certain date, and my date will be March 16th, somebody with giant clippers is going to shave my head bald to raise money for blood cancer research.
Oh.
Which is terrific, and I'm sure they do it in other places, but in Australia they do that. Plus, if you're not so brave to shave, you can actually colour your hair or do all sorts of other things.
Didn't she? She'd coloured hair.
She did. That's right. Yeah.
Caroline did it. Yeah.
And mind you, if I had Caroline's hair, I wouldn't shave it off either.
Ah,
but
right.
it's my hair. It's so. So I have decided that I will shave my head.
Pardon me. Sorry, Rach. You do know that's very good for you now.
What, shaving your hair off?
Yeah.
You get burns at a steak if you do.
No,
If you're in France, you do.
No. It's very good every now and again to cut your hair back very short because it strengthens it and stops the splitting ends.
I've not had my hair cut for 30 years.
Well, no, that's
You
good.
should do it with me, Uncle Lee.
Yeah, you should.
I'm not doing it, no. Are you going to be bald then?
Yep.
You're going to be a bald Rachel?
I will be bald, but the funny thing is that it's in March, so it's coming into our autumn, so I'm going to have to rock some pretty serious beanies on my head because it's going to be a bit chilly.
We'll have to send you another baseball cap.
Yes.
Don't wear a baseball cap, Rachel, for God's sake.
Backwards.
Or a bandana like a pirate.
Yeah,
or something
bandana
like
like
that.
a pirate.
I'll send you a trilby.
Right, where do we find out about your charity thing?
On the ConsumerWatchFoundation.com because she's going to be writing about it there.
There are people
I will, I'll be
There are people driving down the road. They can't do two things at once.
ConsumerWatchFoundation.com. She's going to be writing about it there.
Oh, okay.
And there will be a link there too, but if for some reason you can't get there, which I don't know why you wouldn't, it's wonderful. There's the leukemiafoundation.org.au have a page, and then I think you search for me, but if you do it via Consumer Watch Foundation, it's actually easier because all my details will be embedded.
Exactly.
So, but the good news is,
Hang on, you're going to be in
up.
bed with the Consumer Watch Foundation?
Yes, she's been embedded by me.
When have I not been?
Well,
Exactly.
I had put a goal for March 16th for $1,000 and Australian dollars, which is like €2 or something. And I put my page up. I launched my campaign on New Year's Day, and I've already reached $258.
Wow!
So we're doing very well.
Cool.
The great thing is that the person who donates the most money wins the right to shave my head. So
right.
if you are overseas and you get the highest amount of money, you can either fly here and shave my head, which will be totally worth it, by the way, or you can name a proxy.
Right. Do that slowly for it. It's www.
Dot LEU.
Hang on, slow. LEU.
KAE.
KAE.
MIA.
Where's the A? There's the A.
Got it?
Yeah.
Then foundation.
FOUNDATION. No, hang on, I've done that wrong.
Oh, dear, Rach.
I've done it wrong, Rach.
Oh, no.
I have. I've got to start
Like
again.
watching a 3-year-old with an abacus.
Where's the D? Oh, there's a D. DATION. Yeah.
.org.
Dot. Is that a dot?
That's
No,
a dot.
that's a comma. That's a dot. O R G.
Stop there.
AU.
Hey, you.
.au.
Dot AU.
And
No, I've
while
written
it's...
SU. Oh, none.
Oh, for God's sake, Rachel.
AU. I think we got it. Right, so now if I hit the button,
Yeah.
ding, that will disappear off into oblivion and will proceed to embed itself on RTI Radio on Facebook, in the comments box to this show. It will be there. And it's, as I scroll down, it's slipping. What do you mean I'm slipping? It's there, Rach.
Yay!
My goodness.
Share it with
I'll
us.
jump on there. I'll jump on there too and put, because my code embedded is a lot longer, and it's got my registration ID and all sorts in it. So if I put mine in, it'll go direct to me.
Okay, Arthur Sutherland, you're a naughty man.
What she said.
What she said.
I know him.
You called Arthur a she. Do you know what he said, Rach?
He's a
What did he
she-dad.
say?
What?
He said, Rachel, not me or
Yeah.
me, Rachel, I'm a phrenologist.
Phrenologist, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like with the head thing?
Yeah, right.
He's into heads.
Right. If I win and shave your head, can I feel your bumps?
Yes, but I
Naughty
tell you,
Arthur.
you'll find a really interesting one though, Arthur. You'll find a really interesting one. I've got a dent in the back of my head, which is like, it's almost like an egg cup. My head. It's going to be very unfortunate for me when
Why?
I do this. All my secrets will be revealed. I don't know. There's always been a dent in my head. And when I was in high school, I was very studious, and I'd sit in the library for hours and hours studying, and my head would be, over a book. And all the boys, the naughty boys, would come and put tennis balls in the dent in my
And
head.
would it stay
to see
there?
how long they'd stay there. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Are you like a golf tee?
Yeah. Well, like an egg cup.
Okay. Yes, we will, guys. A couple of people have said, can we remind everybody in a couple of weeks' time when it's nearer to payday?
Of course.
Because they've had the Christmas thing. We will do this
Of
on a
course.
regular basis before the shaving. Don't worry about it. It will be done.
Absolutely.
Every week.
And I
Rachel
am
jump in.
writing an article. I am writing an article for Uncle Lee tomorrow, and he will put it up there whenever he puts it up there, and that's fine.
And we'll share it all over the place.
And we will. You'll become famous, Rachel, with the egg cup
That's
in
good,
the
or
back of your head.
my bald head will become famous.
Take a photograph of the hole in your head.
How can she do that? She's got hair.
She's got a husband.
Yeah, but she's
I
got...
can show you the dent in my head after I shave it.
Yes.
But not when you've got hair, that you silly girl.
Might be
No,
a
you can't
hairy
see
egg
that.
cup.
You can only feel it.
This is true. We're going to move on to the news now, boys and girls. Don't forget we can find the details on the Consumer Watch Foundation. It's on the RTI radio page on Facebook, leukemiafoundation.org.au. And my lame excuse is the keyboard is so worn out in here I couldn't see all the letters. Isn't that true? Look. Look.
No, it isn't true, Rachel.
Oh,
He's just
you
making
fibber.
it up. He's making it up.
The net founding father, Dr. Larry Roberts, who was my hero and he saved my bacon.
I thought he was a vegetarian.
He was the guy that famously started on the internet. As a service, not the bit, because that's slightly different. But he was one of the founding fathers of the internet as we know it, and he built this internet. And ironically, I don't know if you remember this in the papers when Mr. Murdoch brought out satellite television, and everybody was going, "Oh, it's so delayed getting it down there." And then all the techies said, "Oh, that's why you can't use the internet for satellite." And I thought, what are they talking about?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, it was in the national press. You couldn't use, it was all a big thing about it.
Oh.
And the irony was, Dr. Larry Roberts was the guy that actually used satellites to connect,
that's what I thought. That's
to
why I was
connect
confused.
universities together.
He called it the ARPA.
ARPANET.
Halfpenny.
Halfpenny.
Yeah, and it was done, actually. I banged on about this quite a lot and people didn't believe me, but it was actually built for the American forces, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was...
But it was hijacked by the universities a bit later.
Yeah, brilliant, man, absolutely. And it was I actually looked yesterday. I became a bit of an Eric, a bit of an anorak, and I actually looked at his original drawings for how he made the connections through different countries, and it was quite stunningly boring, actually.
I've been told I should learn to touch type. Yeah,
He touches enough things, believe me.
Absolutely. And Arnold's come to join us as well.
Hello,
and
Arnold.
Rachel has now put the proper details of her campaign on RTI Radio for everybody on Facebook already. Thank you, Rach. So we commiserate with the family of Dr. Larry Roberts, who was a wonderful, wonderful man. Sylvia's mother says...
Sylvia's gone, too tired to come to the phone.
Why? Because the famous...
Oh, here we go, fellas.
What?
I just got a Denise Brewster of Manchester just donated $5. Thank you very much.
Denise, thank you.
They don't have dollars in Manchester. She's making it up.
No, but
Maybe.
it does by the time it gets there. It translates it into a different currency.
Thank
It
you.
does, but thank you very much. That's
Thank you very
awesome.
much, whoever you are.
Very
from
fast.
Manchester.
Very, very fast.
Manchester's a beautiful city. I've just been there in the last few days. What a fabulous city it's become. I love you, Manchester, and I miss you. But I'm not coming
I
back.
loved Manchester. I had the best time in Manchester. It was beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it a beautiful city? It knocks
It's
London,
gorgeous.
Birmingham, Leeds, every other city into a cocked hat.
And there we were talking about Ray Sawyers, and we've
Oh,
gone to
no,
Manchester.
it makes... I don't
I'm
want to
sorry,
talk about it
Uncle,
because it makes me
Uncle
sad.
Eric, I'm sorry. I got all distracted by people being kind to me. I'm not used to it.
Well, anyway, Ray was born in Chickasaw in Alabama, 1939.
Don't be so irreverent about it. Be gentle.
I was being gentle.
Yes. Yeah, Ray was born in Chickasaw, Alabama. Ray was born in Chickasaw, Alabama, in 1937.
I feel like I'm being told a bedtime story.
Exactly. But from this guy, I don't think so. Anyway, he was the guy from Doctor Hook.
He wasn't the guy from Doctor Hook. Everybody thought that Ray Sawyer was the lead singer in Doctor Hook. He
No,
wasn't. Ray Montagny was the lead singer in
He
Doctor
was
Hook.
the bloke everybody remembers because of the eye patch.
Because of his eye patch, but he only ever did one song, really, and that was Sylvia's mother says,
Yeah.
Sylvia's sorry. And that's the only one he ever did, really. But then he
I was scared
invented
of
his
him when I
own
was
Doctor
little.
Hook.
I agree, Rach. I was scared of him as well.
I was scared of him when I was little. I used to sit, and he'd come on TV on, video clips, and I was
He looked
scared
really
of him.
hard, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Moving on.
Oh.
Bob Einstein, the comedy writer, he's died at the age of 76.
Brilliant guy.
Yeah, and also...
What did he do then?
Oh, he was seriously funny. He had a character called, what was his name? Super Dave Osborne, and he'd do stunts
course, yeah.
and all these funny things.
He was on
And
Letterman.
he was on Letterman, and then he went on
Yeah.
to do a lot of stuff like Leno, and then he went on to do Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, Letterman, he was ace.
I just have to say
This
very quickly.
Larry David.
Go on.
I've forgotten the name, though. That's the problem. We have a David Letterman writer who actually has been writing for the ConsumerWatchFoundation.com. She's been writing on Bob Dylan's Christmas
She?
Lights for us. She's a she. She's a woman.
What,
She's not
David?
like that
David?
bloke. Yeah.
David Letterman's a woman.
No, David Letterman hasn't been writing. One of his writers, like Bob Einstein, has been writing for us. And I can't remember her name. I'm so sorry, whatever your name is, but thank you for writing for us.
Anyway,
No, he won't
I agree,
anymore.
Rach. On Letterman, he was just phenomenal. And that goes back to the early 90s, I think, Rach.
He did Super Dave, didn't he?
Yeah.
He had a really famous dad who was a famous comedian back in the day, and his name escapes me right now. But he had a super famous dad, and his dad was being roasted at one of those old timey celebrity roasts, the way they used to be done.
Yeah.
And he died right in the middle of it. And
What,
it was
in the middle of the roast?
Yes, in the middle of the roast, he keeled over with heart attack and died. But this guy's brother was Albert Brooks. He's Albert Brooks,
Oh, right.
Who's Albert Brooks?
the famous actor.
I despair sometimes. You're
Who's
supposed
What's he
to
doing?
be the official lovey of the studio and don't know anybody.
I've never heard of Albert Brooks? What's
Yes,
he
you
been in?
have.
Yes, you have.
Google him, Uncle Lee, and you'll know exactly
you
who
will.
he is.
Well, just tell me what he's been in.
Well, he's many things. Broadcast news comes to mind.
Yep.
Oh, right.
The Muse comes to mind. He was the voice of Marlin in Finding Nemo. He's
right. I
done
know who
many,
he is
many
now.
wonderful films.
Yeah, if you saw his picture, you just sort of go, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Moving
sort of
on.
got curly hair, and he's
Yeah.
a
All
quirky
right,
looking guy.
Rach.
Moving on, Gene Okerlund, from originally WWF, then WWE, has died at the age of 76. And the lovely Hulk Hogan, who's not a terribly well person these days, paid tribute to him.
Isn't he?
No.
What's up with him?
All his muscles and his joints are all mucked up because of wrestling.
Oh, right. Poor old Hulk.
Mean Gene, I love you, my brother. That wasn't a very good Hulk Hogan, was it?
Who's Hulk Hogan?
No.
Who's Hulk Hogan? Oh, I
It's okay.
despair. Oh, gosh.
It was a joke. I know who he is.
But Gene was this like small guy, and he was no taller than me, about sort of 5'6", and
5'2".
yeah, probably. I've been shrinking over the years. He would have these huge guys in front of him, and he would destroy them with this massive, bullish sound of his, and he was just so much fun. Doing his commentaries and ringside chats with people, and he was the governor. He really was the governor, and he was a fantastic guy. Gene Okerlund has passed away.
Bit of a mistake in that story, if I could just point it out to embarrass the BBC, because they say others to pay homage included wrestler turned actor Steve Austin. Well, it wasn't Steve Austin, was it?
Yes.
That was the character he played.
No, but that's his character on wrestling. Steve
No,
Austin.
Steve Austin was a $1 Million Man.
No, there was a Steve
No,
Austin on
no,
WWE.
different one, Uncle Lee.
Oh dear.
Stone Cold Steve Austin was
Yeah.
the wrestler,
Yep.
and Steve Austin, who wasn't Stone Cold, he was the Bionic Man.
Yes. What's that got to do with the BBC anyway?
Doesn't got that, because I lifted that story off the BBC.
Nah.
No, I didn't. Never touched it.
Absolutely not. Lee, Hulk Hogan is the guy that looks like you.
I know, I was only joking. Leave me alone.
So what you're saying, Steve, is he's bald.
Oh dear. No, Hulk Hogan was very sexy.
But he's bald.
He's not
That's why
bald.
he is. That's why he wears the
He is
bandana.
now.
That's why he wears the
Rachel, is
bandana.
Hulk Hogan bald now?
Yes,
The top of his head he is now, yeah.
it is.
He's got long side bits.
Has he got long side bits and those gold
He
legs?
can claim to have culture, but does he have any popular culture? No. I do. A man is suing Burger King.
Wait,
What?
sorry, Uncle Eric, we missed one.
What?
Who?
Daryl Dragon died as well. Daryl Dragon was from the Captain and Tennille.
Oh,
Of
crikey, yes.
course. Who were they?
He died.
Oh.
Oh, stop. Come on,
Give up
come
now.
on, Muskrat Love.
Oh, what?
Love will keep us together. So forth and so on. He was 76 years old.
Together.
They were rubbish.
They were a
They were
good disco
crap.
band.
Captain and Toenail were rubbish.
Good
Maybe,
band.
but the man's died. Let's show some respect.
It's not my fault. I didn't kill him.
But they were.
Maybe you did with
a
your
good
hurtful remarks. Maybe he
disco
heard it.
band.
Oh.
Do you know, I'd love 1 cent for every time I played Love Will Keep Us Together.
Yeah, and Muskrat Love, for goodness sake.
Yeah, it was very
my
popular.
goodness.
It was a top
Very.
10 hit. Oh, hang on, Rach. Sorry. It was a top 10 hit. That's popular culture. He will know nothing.
That's true.
True. He's just looking at
He's
me,
not.
boys
He's
and
not.
girls.
He's not an incoherent Nobel Prize winner or a pelvis whirling Elves Pursley.
No.
Do you mean Elvis?
Ah!
No, I don't. I mean elves.
Oh. I'm going to have to get a mute button for that word.
Elvis.
And we move on. A man is seriously suing Burger King for withdrawing a free meal for life that he won. Really, this guy won this thing, and the Burger King chain have said, nope, we're not going to do this anymore. And the reason he got the free meal thingy was because he got stuck in the bathroom in the restaurant in Portland. So the man is now suing the chain for $9,000 US, which equates to a burger a year for 22 years.
A burger a year?
Yeah.
Is that
That's
all he
fair.
got?
Sorry, a burger a week for 22 years. I do beg your pardon.
Well, why won't they give it
That's
him?
fair.
Well, they've just said, well, not doing it anymore.
This is a true story about something exactly that happened to us. We did a show about a man called Geoffrey Parker, who was a really good friend of mine, who had 11 children. And there was a restaurant near his house advertising children eat for free. So he took all 11 children along with him, and they kicked him out.
Oh God! Actually, we
mean
have
they
been
shouldn't say
have
that.
been so
They should
remiss.
say conditions apply or something.
We've been very remiss.
I can't hear you, Rach, because he
Right.
turned you down. Because
I didn't turn it down. It's your hearing. We've been very remiss.
What? Why?
Have we?
We've missed Dean Ford out.
It was Dean Ford.
I despair. Arthur, tell him who Dean Ford is, will you?
Who's Arthur? Is that Arthur Sutherland?
Yes.
That lovely, lovely lady.
And Dave has reminded me, it's because of the Christmas and New Year thing, I'm all messed up. Dame June Whitfield has passed away as well.
Oh, of
We did her
course.
last week.
Absolutely fabulous.
No, we did it, didn't we?
Yes, see?
Last week?
Did we?
Did
Might
you?
not have done.
I don't know. I wasn't here.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
No, I didn't. Yeah, she's
No.
dead.
You're right, actually. No, you're right. I'm just gonna look. Yeah,
What?
20.
I'm not here to keep it in check. Come on, man.
That's.
No, we're in Slovakia.
But it's the 4th today, which is. Oh.
Yeah, we didn't do it. No, I got it wrong.
Oh, sorry, Dave. Thank you.
Ab
Got
fab.
it wrong, Dad.
She's
Got-
dead. She
Ab
died.
fab.
Died.
No, I actually always remember her for Terry and June more than that.
That was well. I remember for that.
Both,
yeah,
but I
both,
mean,
yeah. But she was really
Terry
good.
and June, she was just a comedy timing. Was
She
brilliant.
was actually a very, very good-looking middle-aged woman.
Yes, she was very, very lovely.
I'm not
look
going
at.
to say what I was going to say.
No, you're going to say MILF, but that'd be
I
disgusting.
now, how dare you?
Oh, isn't Gilf more accurate?
Oh, Rachel, that's even worse. Don't tell your granny.
Well, he is. Well, no, actually, you're right. You're right, Rach, because he is actually a granddad himself. Lee, oh, we have a message for you. Lee, pay attention. Lee, Dean Ford, and the Greylords / Marmite.
Oh, that band, Marmalade.
Marmalade.
Dearie me, says Arthur.
Is that Marmalade?
Yes.
He was in Marmalade, wasn't he? Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cat Andrews. Hello, Cat.
Hello, Cat.
He's joined us as well. Good man.
Perfect.
He is perfect, and he will be flying away in his TARDIS tonight on this very channel.
Oh.
He will. He will.
Marmalade were a load of rubbish, I know.
No, they weren't.
They were Rachel, weren't they? They were a load of rubbish.
Well, I don't actually know that particular band, but I don't like to eat marmalade.
Marmalade's lovely. I
it's
like
lovely.
marmalade.
It's too bitter for me. I don't like the bitter.
Don't you?
Don't you like the bitter?
No, I like a bit.
No,
Of I agree with you. I like the combination: a bitter apricot and a bitter lemon.
I like the
I
rind.
get it.
That rind that's in it.
That's what I'm on about. The bitter bit.
Oh.
You're all about the skin, Uncle Lee.
Yeah, he's not awake today, is he? He's definitely he's still on holiday, I think.
About 2 beats behind, I reckon.
I reckon you could be right. I love this story for all the good reasons.
This is very funny.
This is really the former editor of the Food magazine, who had to quit after a joke about killing vegans, has joined the
Remember
Daily
that?
Telegraph as a restaurant critic.
I love it.
And he's going to
That's
review
gold.
vegan
So his first review is going to be on vegan food.
Good on him.
I'm going to have to read that. I'll tell you what, sir, you and the Telegraph are a pair of genius people.
I think it is, yeah.
He's going to get so well on this thing. It's going to be amazing.
Actually, I have to say, I was actually a food critic for a couple of years. I was a travel writer, then I was a music writer, and then I ended up being a food writer. And what a fabulous job that is. There aren't many jobs like that about now.
The only trouble is...
Do you want to hear?
You
do you
got
wanna hear a quick
fired for
story?
drinking too much, didn't you?
No, well, you
Do you
did
want to hear a
drink a
quick
bit.
story
Yeah,
about
you did
food
drink a bit.
critics?
I will do, Rachel, in a minute when he's shut up.
What
Yes.
did you say, Rachel?
Yeah.
I can't hear because he won't turn you up.
I've got a very quick story about food critics for you.
Yeah.
There's a television show. There used to be a television show on Channel 7 network here in Australia called My Restaurant Rules.
Yeah.
And a couple in each state of Australia would build a restaurant and then open for business and serve food, etc. And there was a competition to who wrote the best critique of a toasted ham sandwich, and whoever won would go to every single restaurant and eat all their food, 5 restaurants in 5 days, all across Australia, which is exhausting. And then they won a big prize, and they got to do this and that. And guess who won it?
Who?
That would be me.
Really?
So, yes, so I got to critique every single restaurant and all the food in all the restaurants. And, of course, because I was there, every week there was a me on the telly critiquing food.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Brilliant.
Yes, for Arthur's benefit, that is Prisoner Cell Block H.
Yes.
Yes, oh my goodness, please, I apologise.
Why?
But wait for my last episode, because I give a glorious scream.
Oh, you did, didn't you?
After I'm bludgeoned with a table tennis bat.
Yeah, she was hit with one of those really heavy, nasty things.
Like
those ping-pongy bat things.
Yeah, she was.
What, a kosh?
No, a table tennis bat. She just told you, ping pong bat.
I can't hear her because you won't turn her up.
Oh, for goodness sake.
I can hear you now, Rach. Thank you.
Is it not possible for you to turn a control knob in the studio?
Because you slap my hand. You won't let me touch anything. You tell me not to touch anything.
Well, is that surprising?
There's certain times you don't say that.
I never want you to say that again.
Never say that again.
No, he's reminding me of Clarkson at the minute. Let's go now somewhere else. Anyway, we move on to a snowflake story from Lee.
Well, yeah, I actually headlined it. It's gone totally insane. And actually, I can see it from both ways. But in a way, the British Army is taking on people who play games, gamers, selfie addicts, phone zombies, binge gamers, and they're all taking them in to join the army. Lord Kitchener had turned in his grave.
Have you seen the cartoon?
No.
There's a cartoon of an army recruitment office, and in there there's this kid in a dressing gown cuddling a teddy bear and saying, "Mum, they're even letting the teddy go in as well."
It's a bit bizarre, isn't it? What worries me is that violence has grown incredibly, incandescently across the world because of games, because of the fact that you murder people on games, and now they're taking them into the army. But on the plus side, I can actually see the point of view. That's because people need to know their way round new technology and everything else to make the army work. It just seems bizarre, and I think it was well written.
It's not to make the army work necessarily. Some of the biggest issues that even the military have to face are cyber attacks.
Yes.
And therefore, having kids who can cyber attack and therefore stop a cyber attack, it just makes logical sense to me.
But surely will actually be used to create cyber attacks, won't they? It's a legitimate part of the war.
British Army would never do such a thing.
Secret intelligence agencies around the world have used hackers,
Exactly.
for years.
Yeah, exactly.
Why not? That's a great idea.
And the beautiful thing about it is, funnily enough, I was only talking to a young man last night about this, that the games sector is such a good one to learn in, because once you've got the basics of building a game, making a game, coding a game, yada, 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 you can transfer those skills just about anywhere, television, radio, and clearly into the military as well. So I think it's a fab thing.
Guidance systems and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It actually happened in the Afghanistan war, didn't it? Where they used people who were described as the PlayStation generation to carry out that kind of cyber aspect of it. Yeah, it's a really good thing. I just thought it was really funny that we're employing all these whatever they call anoraks and spotty kids. Gamers, yeah.
But at least they're making themselves useful rather than sitting in their house with the windows shut and eating Cheetos all day. Yeah. It's good they might, maybe we're also combating obesity at the same time.
Yeah. Precisely.
Wonder if the army will let them take the teddy bears with them.
Probably. Because they're not going to be the ones shooting guns, are they?
No, they will be.
One would hope
pretend
not.
Guns.
They probably won't. Yeah, but they can fire guns probably better than anybody else anyway. They need to control the drones and remote vehicles. What? they want is hackers. Yes, I agree on
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
I totally
yeah.
agree. It's one of those things where the establishment cries wolf over stuff like this, when in reality, the army are actually going in the right direction. Yes, you need the basic squaddy as you've always done, but as things move around, you don't need as many tanks as you used to have. Because the fighting's not going to be in tanks. The fighting's going to be, online and stuff like that. Wrecking, you can turn off an entire country's power if you knew how to do it. And these guys are going to stop that happening, and that's why you need them in the military.
Yeah.
The fighting's going to be done via computer in bunkers miles away from any action.
Of course it is.
So are we actually going to be headed in the direction of bloodless wars now?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say bloodless. No, I'd never agree with that, because there's always going to be some nutter.
But will it ease the situation? It's not now.
No.
The soldiers are fodder.
No, because the fact is there's so much dependency on computer technology that there can be as much harm. You imagine it. All of a sudden, click, bang, all the traffic lights go to green at the same time. It's going to cause havoc, deaths, all sorts of things. So it's a very difficult one.
I agree with you, Rachel. It will.
Yeah, I don't think they'll need as many boots on the ground.
No, I agree with you there. I agree there, but
They'll all have the slippers on.
We now move on to the moment where Rachel defends her country, apologises to the world, and says, "We weren't really that drunk. We got the date wrong."
We are just a bunch of numpties, aren't we?
Yes.
Sydney's New Year's Eve light show, the fireworks display,
which is one of the biggest on the planet
in the world. Yeah, and because we're first. Well, actually, that's not true. New Zealand is first, and then it's us. But because we're sort of first in the world to ring in the new year, we bring in a large TV audience from around the world, and welcome 2018 blazoned across many banners. It's like, oops, wrong. Try 2019. So it was horribly, it was horribly bad mistake to make. But they've apologised and saying that, oh well, wasn't that a funny joke and blah 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 blah. But it wasn't funny. It was just dumb.
No, it was brilliant.
Why?
It was dumb.
It was brilliant. Sydney got more free advertising than it's ever got in its life.
I suppose.
Well, yes, but it's not very good advertising. It's like, go to Sydney, where they don't even know what year it is.
Yeah, where it's last year, dear. Yeah.
Hello to Angel, who's just joined us.
Hello, Angel.
For the very first time, actually. Welcome. Nice to have you with us. Will you two stop whinging about Rupert Murdoch? He's all right.
Who's that now?
He's not.
He is.
Oh, no,
he's not. He's the source of all evil.
As a person, he's very normal. Have you met him?
I have.
No, and I walk out of a room if he were in it.
I've met him.
I've met him.
He's very normal.
I've worked for him on various publications.
I've argued with him. I got banned from Sky for 3 months as well. But that's another story. But he and James and Elizabeth, Elizabeth's just a softie, she really is. But the Murdoch dynasty are basically not a dynasty anymore. They've got such a small percentage of the media industry now. It's minuscule.
Well, everybody seems to think that Murdoch owns the whole of the world's media. He doesn't. He owns a certain part of it. Lots
Which
of
is
other
even
people
smaller
own it.
now.
Yeah, and the media should stay in private hands. And the simple. Here's a very quick example of the way the people now view media. I don't think it's absolutely shameful. We gave people who are against vaccinating children the opportunity to debate on the Consumer Watch Foundation group, vaccinations. Now, the people who are against vaccinating children basically send out all sorts of memes and stupid things about it, how evil it is, and it's just drug companies. So we said, let's debate this properly. And we put a story on saying that giving extolling the virtues of vaccinations. And we said, come back to us. And do you know what they did? They've been sending me stuff for weeks and weeks about why children shouldn't be vaccinated and demanding that I put it on the Consumer Watch Foundation. As soon as they saw a story against it, they deleted it.
No.
Yeah, that's right. They said, no, we're not using that rubbish. Well, that is the way the media is going, the social media is going, because everybody's attacking people like Rupert Murdoch and other people who privately own the real media. And the reason they own the real media is because it is independent. And you can argue the toss about it not being independent, but you're just wrong.
But the thing is, the other interesting thing is people assume that Rupert Murdoch was a rich man when he started. He wasn't.
No, he
became the editor of a newspaper in Australia. Now, okay, that's a good salary, but it's not what you'd call rich.
An editor today on a
mum was
national
rich.
newspaper will earn about £180,000
Yeah, but his mum
a
didn't
year.
pay for anything. I mean, this is the guy who at one point in the early 90s was £90 million in debt in the early 90s.
His mum didn't pay for anything because they had a very strained relationship. She
Yeah,
was
did,
very
yeah.
wealthy.
Yeah.
She didn't like him.
I know.
But his mum was one of the greatest philanthropists that our nation has ever seen. She was giving, building foundations and building. So she was using her powers for good and not evil. I understand the need for his existence, but I don't tolerate it.
I don't. Why? What don't you tolerate?
I don't like his politics. I don't like his ideology. I don't like his theology. I don't like. I disagree with him on every point that he has.
He's a born-again Christian.
Yeah.
He's a socialist.
Yep.
Definitely a socialist.
Absolutely.
He's so biased, it's unbelievable.
And none of this
Exactly.
is generally reflected in his publications.
No, his
I
newspaper...
never said it was. I just don't like him.
Oh, all right. But his newspaper...
I understand the need for his existence in the universe to balance things, but I don't have to like it, and I certainly do
No,
not.
you don't have to like it, but it's unfair
like
for
Trump.
the way people attack him. You see, basically, his dynasty, his empire, not all of it, but a great part of his news empire is based on one thing, and that's celebrity. And people want celebrity, and that's where things get a bit bizarre and a bit strange, because you're talking about celebrities, but the people who want celebrity news more than anybody else are the celebrities themselves.
Correct.
And that's the market that he caters to, generally. Not entirely, but generally.
Because that is one of the ironies, that he's a socialist, and yet his main newspaper in the UK, people say that it's right-wing. So you've got... But it's not.
No.
Absolutely not.
They say the same about his publications here.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know. And whatever his place in his place in the media is, media has to be balanced. It has to be right and left. It has to be all things.
Of course.
And I understand that. But as a human being, as a man, I don't like him.
Is
and
that
if he
just
was in a
because you
room,
think he's ugly?
No, I just don't. I disagree with him on fundamental things. I don't like his politics. I don't like his religion. I don't like
You're not
any
a
of those
socialist.
things. There is not a reason for me to have a conversation with the man if I was in a room with him, so I won't bother.
Good one, Rach. That was politician Rach answering Mr. Banks. That was beautiful. But anyway, I will say, having been to a couple of dinners with him, not as his guest, but as a side guest, very polite. His kids are amazingly polite, very well brought up, and at the time James was the boss of Star Television in Asia, so he was a very powerful guy, and he didn't talk down to you. It was very nice, and Elizabeth especially, she's just a softie, or she was.
I like Lachlan.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And having worked for him, I can say categorically that he concentrates on business, not news.
Yeah.
That is a complete fallacy. He's too powerful. He's got too many companies to say, oh, well, we're not going to lead on that, lads. We're going to lead on this. He never, ever says it.
No.
People
But
join
he also lets the people who know how to do their jobs do their jobs.
Correct.
Dead right.
And that's what any good boss does. Any
Yeah.
good boss does that. But if I walked into a cocktail party in my after 5 wear, and I saw him across the room, I wouldn't beeline for him. I'd probably excuse myself and go to the dunny.
Is it because you think he's ugly?
No, he looks like a potato. But
He's
that's
trying
okay.
again, Rach, isn't he? He really is. I'm really annoyed with this one. We've got to get on because we've got so much to get through. A judge has praised a drug dealer's grammar and punctuation and basically let him off.
Very strange.
Because you are articulate, young sir, you will not be punished.
Yeah, which annoys me. Very proud of this story. Young Muslims have been taken to the street in the UK to clear up after the New Year's Eve celebrations. And they got up before daylight and actually cleared the streets of 50 UK towns and cities so that everybody could come to somewhere nice, when everybody else, the Brits, were all hungover.
Yeah, and it's not.
They're still making a mess.
Exactly. It's not that it was a publicity stunt. They do this on a regular basis. And this is the Muslim Youth Association, the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association, who just get on with it quietly and do it. And now, luckily, the press and the media, including us, picks up on it and say, what a good thing. They cleaned up Luton, London, Glasgow, Guildford, Cardiff, Croydon. Just endless. They just went out and did it. Well done.
And hello to Sergi, who's just joined us as well.
Hello,
Thank you,
Sergi.
I
have one of your suits.
Stop it.
Wouldn't it be a nice world though if we were able to? Wouldn't it be a nice world if we didn't have to point out that here's Muslims doing nice things?
No, I'd always like to do that, Rach.
Yeah, but anybody doing nice things. I know what Rachel's saying. Let's point out people are doing nice things.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I get your point, Rach, but I think sometimes it's rather like, because us slightly more mature people, I nearly
You're talking about Rach and you?
No, I was nearly said old then for a minute.
But you knew you'd have got slapped.
I know.
Senior people.
Senior.
Mature, grown up. Grown-ups.
Right.
We are grown-ups.
Grown-ups, that'll do. Right, so the problem with grown-ups, because I get really annoyed about this, is grown-ups going, oh, it wasn't like that in our day. Yes, it was.
Of course it was.
And we don't catch the youth, and these were youth Muslims, we don't catch the youth doing good things, and we should. And it's too easy to go, oh, look, they're doing this, that and the other, blah, 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 blah.
That's cynical, isn't it?
It's just, the kids do so much good, and if you give them a little bit of encouragement, they do even more good.
That's right. And you shouldn't... There is this adage about the moment, which is ludicrous, that you shouldn't differentiate between races and creeds and colours and everything else. Of course you should.
Yeah, why not? Be proud of it.
Yeah, I'm proud to be a Mancunian. He's proud to be from wherever he's... Bedfordshire. From Bedfordshire. Rachel's proud to be an Aussie. And it's just a good thing.
Except on New Year's Eve.
Except, well, yeah. But the fact is that we are all different. Celebrate the difference, but don't decry people and insult them because of the difference.
Correct. Having had a great debate this week with somebody about what the consulate and the Foreign Office should do,
I've got a headache now.
I just what's your fault for shouting? I love this story of what the Foreign Office has been asked to do. They've received 330,000 calls from Brits who needed help overseas in the past year, and 4,900 were from those who had been arrested.
I know.
And I have to say, if you get arrested in a foreign country, the consulate can do absolutely nothing.
In fact, we had somebody on last week, a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? Explaining just that. You get yourself arrested, it's got nothing to do with the
embassy or the consulate.
At all, no.
Yeah, when we had the...
Well, how come when Australians travel overseas, they tell us if we're arrested and need to contact the consulate immediately? Their government tells us to do that.
That's an interesting point.
Well, your consulate does.
That's very interesting.
Well, there's nothing they can do.
They say they can negotiate on your behalf, and they can provide you with legal representation.
Yes, they can help you.
They can mitigate for you.
Yeah, and they can give you guidance and advice, but they can't actually get you out of jail.
Yeah.
Once you're nicked, you're nicked.
I think Eric and I misled people on that. What you said is absolute. She's been very good today, hasn't she?
She's been very.
Do you know why? I'll tell you why. Want to know my secret?
Because you've not been drinking.
I came home from work and went straight to bed.
You're in bed now.
That's what it is. She's in bed.
You're in bed.
I've had a nap.
Ooh.
Have you?
I'm all awake.
Anyway, one man phoned the British consul to ask if he knew were there any vampires in Poland.
I would ask that.
Well, that's something to get your teeth into, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, a caller in the US wanted to know which contestant had been voted off Strictly Come Dancing.
That's fair. I'd probably consulate to ask that.
And somebody in the Netherlands, obviously in the Netherlands on a holiday or working, a Brit, phoned up to ask questions about the plot of Braveheart. What was it, a pub quiz?
No, I think that's a good thing to ring your consulate and ask about.
Good Lord. A man in Thailand wanted diplomatic backing as he argued against paying for a massage as he'd fallen asleep during it and didn't want to pay.
That's madness.
And then somebody in Argentina asked for a list of women you can marry.
Oh?
I mean, how bonkers is this?
How many did you want to marry?
Yeah. Somebody in the Canary Islands wanted a new hotel room after a stray cat urinated on his bed. While a man in Delhi wanted to know if the British High Commission was selling vegetarian sausages.
Can we just say the Bratislava embassy, right?
Yes.
Is supporting a webinar, isn't it, about Brexit?
It is indeed.
Which the story is appearing in the Consumer Watch Foundation now as we speak.
As we speak, it's all over the shop. So thank you to Olga and Leslie for sharing with me, which is very sweet of you. I have seen a revolt of British pensioners in an Australian cafe because they didn't serve tea and tea cakes. Absolutely right, Arthur.
What would you expect?
What do you expect from these criminals
God's
down
sake.
there? Flipping heck, I can't do tea and cakes. For goodness sake, dear boy, what do you mean? But the Foreign Office did say, I can regretfully confirm that the Foreign Office isn't able to offer advice on vampires, rogue stray cats, or strictly contestants. And our capacity to deploy veggie sausages remains sadly lacking. Bravo to the Foreign Office spokesman. Yeah, that was a good one.
Stray Cats was a good band, though.
They were actually, weren't they?
Yeah, brilliant band.
Yeah, does Rachel know them?
Have you ever heard of the Stray Cats, Rach?
Oh my goodness, Scar, yes, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. The Royal College of Paediatricians and Child Health has published the UK's first ever screen time guidance.
Ooh.
And this is all to do with this whole argument about whether children should sit with their tablets, computers and all the rest of it. And although it's a really long article, I'm going to have to praise it because we've only got a few minutes left. The bottom line is, no, it doesn't. It doesn't cause any problems. What they do advise for everybody, not just kids, is to get away from the computer screen an hour before you go to bed, which is a bit...
Yes, it stimulates your brain.
Which is daft.
Why?
No, it's not. Can I... Wait, I got to... Wait, no, it's not.
Okay.
When I was in the hospital for a couple of months being treated for my bipolar disorder, we were taught about something called sleep hygiene. And they suggest for people like myself, with our brain activity being a bit wonky, that we shouldn't have any stimulant in the bedroom. Don't say anything filthy, Uncle Lee.
I never thought anything.
You did.
It's more like don't have a telly, don't have the devices, because it's the information itself will stimulate your brain and you will struggle with your sleep.
I don't.
So they suggest not doing that, and they also said an hour before you go to sleep you should knock it off with. But even books, they said don't read books in bed and so forth and so on. So you have to practice sleep hygiene.
So I'm a disaster then?
Yeah, you're a disaster.
Well, yeah.
Because in the new house, I've got this habit of trying to keep the volume down from upstairs because Martina's gone to sleep. And what I do is I watch the television with my Bluetooth headphones on the laptop.
Yes.
About half an hour before I go to bed, I make a cup of coffee. Which has two.
There's a problem right there.
There's two spoonfuls of coffee. I then drink that while I'm watching the end of NCIS, which is what I'm normally watching last thing. I've actually gone back to Series 1 NCIS Los Angeles. Now I've gone right back to Series 1. Got 16 series to go. That'll keep me going a bit. And then I go to bed, and then I go straight away. If I do this, I've tried it. You drink water 30 minutes before you go to sleep. You turn the television off. You sit around going...
And he starts to think.
Exactly.
Exactly, and you start planning, and you start doing things.
I wouldn't advise that as a general rule of how to go to bed. I really wouldn't.
But I used to play that. I used to when I was under pressure at work, when I was on a morning newspaper. I used to get in at 3 o'clock in the morning, probably stay up till 4:30, and then I'd put the radio on, and the radio would lull me to sleep.
Yeah, the radio I can work with. Anyway, we've got to move on to some quick crash stories. The Gatwick drones, the army have withdrawn their support for the airport.
What car knows this was?
And also today, both Heathrow and Gatwick have announced millions worth of pounds of investment in a new system to stop this happening again. Talking of gamers, as we were a bit
Nothing
earlier,
happened.
I know. The value of the gaming sector in the UK has more than doubled since 2007, and it is now bigger than film or music.
Yeah, madness.
The gaming
Crazy,
sector is
crazy.
worth £3.84 billion. So it means it genuinely is the largest market sector now, above video and music combined.
And what are the main films? Main games: Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, and now they're all going to go in the army because they can play that.
Well, you've got FIFA as well.
FIFA, that's football.
Exactly.
Or it's a big giant going FIFA for.
Absolutely.
This thing, Fortnite, is taking over the planet.
Absolutely.
I
know. Yes, Frank. Big thumbs up to that one.
Big thumbs up, Frank.
The Chinese firm Huawei have demoted 2 employees after they sent out a tweet saying Happy New Year on their iPhones.
That's ridiculous.
It's brilliant. And apparently it's not the first time they've done that either.
Ooh.
Rachel's going to kill me, but it's a story, Rach. Sorry.
All right.
Apple's sales forecast has been clobbered downhill a bit, knocking 7.7% off of their share value.
Because they're saying it's
That's
rubbish.
China's fault. That's China's fault.
And they built in obsolescence so obviously now that people aren't going to buy it.
Correct.
That won't stop me.
3 former Credit Suisse bankers have been arrested in London over an alleged $2 billion fraud, according to US prosecutors. That story still runs. The North Korean ambassador to Italy has disappeared, says the people in the south. Police are investigating the murder of a bouncer outside a New Year's Eve party, and they have charged the son of Muslim cleric Abu Hamza with firearms offences. Poor kid. I actually feel very, very sorry for him because he didn't stand much of a chance, that's for sure. The Church of Scientology, a man killed by a teenager in Sydney, and very sad, Billy Connolly, his batteries are running out. He's slipping away due to his battle with Parkinson's disease. An amazing man, absolutely.
Can I just say very briefly?
We haven't really got time.
Just very briefly, though.
Can you be quick?
Really, he's made a new television series, and he actually said that I'm 75, so I'm coming to the end of my life. That's all he said. That story is complete flam.
No, he's poorly.
Of course he's poorly, yeah. We all know he's poorly. He's got cancer, prostate cancer, and all sorts
of things. Yeah. Olivia Newton-John's laughed off rumours that she's dead, which she wasn't, and still isn't. Bless her heart, love her to bits. For Rach and I, China have landed a spacecraft on the backside of the moon, which is absolutely brilliant. And the snowman shape of the Ultima Thule.
That's fascinating.
That really is fascinating. But I have got 90 seconds left, and what I'm going to say to you, Rach, just repeat your charity campaign, please.
Oh, it's the world's greatest shave at leukemiafoundation.org.au. And I'm writing an article, and Uncle Lee will post it up for me.
That's what you're doing this weekend?
We don't post, we publish.
Yes, we publish.
Sorry, we'll publish.
So that's what Rach is doing this weekend. She's writing an article for the Consumer Watch Foundation.
Thank you very much, Rachel.
You're very, very welcome, complete with photos of all my different hairdos throughout the
That's
years.
what I said. Send us all the different haircuts you've had for the last, since you were born, basically. It'll make everybody, it'll be funny, it'll be charming, it'll be witty, it'll be fabulous.
God, that was
Fabulous.
Say goodbye, Sooty.
Goodbye, Sooty.
No, properly.
Oh, sorry. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
And that's it for another week of Postcard from Poprad here on Radio Tatras International. Thank you to everybody for contributing. Got to tell you, the show up next, which is Steve's, this week is going to blow your socks off. It is the most phenomenal programme ever. And as we say on some of the latest promos for it, we're keeping radio alive. That's what we do. Lee's back on Sunday on RTI. Rach is back next week with me. And until then, this is Radio Tatras International at the top of the hour from Poprad to Plymouth.